Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and no, the game is not up yet, but I'm still going to start recording the video because I have a busy night ahead of me. But anyway, today we're here to talk about the new banner, which is spoilers, 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 spoilers. Get the hell out of here if you don't want to hear story spoilers for Brave Exvius, even if Season 2 is a convoluted piece of shit. I mean, a fantastic piece of work that really requires just a ton of intelligence to understand all the plot twists, which apparently were stolen from M. Night Shyamalan. Anyway, here we are. Let's talk about the King Rain banner. Okay, and when thinking about what music to choose for this one, I mean, I could have chose Brave Exvius music, but yeah, I'm not interested in listening to that right now. So instead, I decided to choose the music of a king. Also because I'm hoping that this music will summon Noctis next month. April, the month of Noctis? Come on, you gotta give me something. Anyway, the new banner is basically CG King Rain, or that's kind of what I'm going to title him, because other than that, it just takes way too long to get, or to say everything about him. What can I say about this banner? This banner is a banner that I have not been overly excited about for quite a few reasons. Least to say, or definitely not one of the only reasons, is just because I really hate these summon festivals. I think that they are horseshit the way that they are done. To just force players into pulling for overly powerful units that are characters from the game. If it was collaboration, you know, limited time because of licensing, that's understandable. But this is Brave Exvius characters. To some extent, whether the story is bad or not, we enjoy having the characters from the game we're actually playing, and the idea that these characters are locked behind a limited time wall is crap. It's just crap, and for that reason I can't overly support this at all. And so before I talk about this banner, I'm just gonna say, yeah, meh. That is my general impression. But let's actually talk about it. So we have Mage, who is a 3-star to 5-star unit. Accessory is a 3 defense, 3 spirit, 20% magic, with a whole bunch of modifiers for a ton of Earth abilities. Earth abilities have never been that exciting to me. The magic passive on this accessory just isn't super great. And while the modifier is 150% modifier, Quake Chaining just kind of sucks, and I'm just not overly excited about any of this, so for now I'm giving a big pass on the accessory. Next up is Diesel, who, yes, I'm sorry, she's a girl. She's a very cool girl. She's the only thing on this banner I'm slightly interested in, and that's a big slightly. Diesel just looks really cool. She has a TMR that is 50% attack when equipped with a greatsword, 20% extra attack when equipped with a heavy armor. Fits with a ton of units, just as a really super nice trust mastery on, you know, basically a continuation of nice trust masteries. I don't know if Diesel is a limited 4-star. I don't think so. If we are having limited 4-stars in this game, then I might actually, like, legit play a lot less of this game, because that's just unbelievably stupid. But anyway, Diesel's just has a really nice TMR. She has some nice thunder chaining attacks. She actually has some true dual wield in her kit and natural dual wield, so she's just pretty cool, and I would not mind getting my hands on at least a copy, but that means I would have to pull on this banner, and anyway. But of course, the unit that we're all here to talk about is Rain. And Rain is a CG that we have been waiting to talk about or to get for a long time, even though it turns out that we have gotten a CG Rain. My voice went kind of high there. Getting into spoilers, yeah. At this point, if you don't already know, here comes a spoiler. Haihu was Rain all along. Whatever. Doesn't really matter. What is important here is that, you know, This new version of Rain is pretty damn cool looking. I love the design of his sword. It's just a really neat one, the true Crimson Saber. But everything about Rain is super damn baity for Wales, and that's kind of where my interpretation of Rain ends up. First of all, it should be said before we get into anything that Rain is a Stardust Ray Chainer, and at this point, the only one who seems to be able to partner with him is Red 13. So, yeah, consider that before you get too heavily invested in pulling for him. You definitely need to get, well, like all 5-star base units now, you need to get 2 copies of them. But for chaining partners, there just isn't a super high amount of chaining partners because of his elements. I'm sure there will be in the future, but for the moment, it's not great. His TMR is a heavy armor, and this is probably the thing that people are most interested in. Rain's armor, 28 attack, 45 defense, Wisdom of King Aldor, 10% HP, and a limit burst up rate of 1.3 times. Very powerful TMR, unquestionably. The limit burst damage up on this is just kind of stupid. It's way too powerful for this. And so, yeah, that is definitely where the bait is for lower level players too. It is really good bait, I will fully admit, but I would still say probably not worth 25k Lapis. I mean, I assume at some point you'll be able to get a Moogle of this and then just use a blank Moogle container, because But anyway, Super Trust Mastery is the true Crimson Saber, 174 attack with the King's with Ambition of King Aldor, 50% attack, true dual hand bonus, 25% accuracy. So yeah, it's a true dual hand saber. It is a 2-handed one. True dual hand isn't super exciting, but we gotta talk about what this unit is, basically. He has a base 209 attack with an extra whole bunch of points put in. He can get a pretty damn high attack. His HP, defense, and MP are all pretty decent too. Well, his MP is okay. Defense-wise, 493 is pretty high, and his HP is pretty high, so again, it's the same thing as CG Dark Fina last month, where basically there's just extra stats where you don't see them in other units to try and make these units better. And they are better, but man, does it feel dirty. Anyway, equipment-wise, he has a wide weapon equipment, swords, great swords, katanas, hammers, spears. No axes, though. Guess he can't wield an axe. Shields and just equipment. Looking at his limit burst, though, this is where all of Rain's power comes from. Rain's kit looks like a giant kind of clusterfuck. It doesn't seem to have a very good rotation upon initial examination of it. What he is limit burst spam. 100%. Crimson Nova is his AoE 30 hit, 1750% physical attack with a 50% ignore defense, but that's not what's really important about his limit burst. Remember, his TMR has limit burst damage up. Not only that, but his kit also has limit burst damage up, and he has a cooldown ability that can up his limit burst damage too. The total mod is 140 times mod on his limit burst. I'll let that sink in. 140 times mod on his limit burst. Basically, Rain comes down to essentially one message. Limit burst damage incarnate. There really isn't much else to his kit. I mean, his kit does have some generally good stuff. He gets an ability for beating the FFBE series boss battle, which is just Stardust Ray Chaining with, some nice stuff, and fills his limit burst up every 2 turns, which is really good, obviously, for him. He has Nalifi Saber, which is a AoE hit, but can also remove all status effects from a single enemy. So obviously Dispel is pretty strong there. He has Full Break in his kit. He has an 80% buff for all of his members. He has ways to unlock Triple Cast for turn. He does not have natural Triple Cast in his kit, but his Blaze Soil and Spark Saber all are 10-hit chaining abilities that debuff 80% for their respective element, while adding that element to his attacks for 5 turns. kind of dirty pool. Again, what can you do? Well, the other units had to debuff on a different ability or find a different way to debuff. Rain just does it all in one ability. Okay. He has 3,000 HP barriers that he can activate. He has stacking damage in his Grand Shield Saber, which is kind of interesting, a 700% modifier max. He has lots and lots of cooldown abilities. My favorite, which is called Full Arousal, and yes, we are going to call it that from now on, which is an AoE 74% defense debuff for 4 turns, gives himself a 250% attack buff for 4 turns, self 100% break resistance, enables for 4 turns access to, I believe, just triple casting for 4 turns. Yay! That's on a 6-turn cooldown, available turn 1, but yeah, the way his pattern seems to be is get his limit burst, buff it with his abilities, and then just fire off his limit burst and spam his limit burst as many times. Whatever way you can get to do his limit burst is fine. He has heals for the group that are on a cooldown, on a 2-turn cooldown, so an AoE 5,000 HP and 50 MP heal, not bad. Especially if he's using it, can use it in his triple cast, which he can. But yeah, limit burst modifiers up, which are on a 4-turn cooldown, 220%, but as we've already talked about, the full percentage. More multi 10-hit abilities with better passives kind of thing. Extra limit burst damage for beating on his passives for just beating the FFB series boss battle, which should be interesting. Natural 50% fire, earth, and lightning resistance, as well as some status resistances as well. 7% MP recovery per turn. I believe he has either 150 or 200% true dual hand in his kit already. He has guts, so he can basically avoid 100% one fatal attack when his HP is above 1%. Has access to triple cast if he has his TMR or super TMR on from the start of the fight. Oh good, the music restarted. That's fine. Can also has a way to enhance his limit burst to also give 120% fire debuff for 2 turns to the enemy. So not only does it hit strong, I guess fire element is his key element still. Yeah, here's the thing. Rain is definitely a weird mixed bag in a lot of respects. He almost feels just so baited to whales that it's not even funny at this point. The best way to do him is just to have 8 copies of him. Give him 2 TMRs, or, well, I guess if you're one of the lucky chosen, to have Bahamut's tier, the super TMR from whatever his name was. It's too far in the past. I don't even remember his name. But if you have Bahamut's tier, then you can power up this guy's limit burst considerably higher. And it's all about his limit burst. The way his kit is just all over the place. He has access to a lot of abilities, but in terms of finding out an optimal rotation, it's going to take somebody to really work at it, probably, for a little bit to really figure out the best rotation you can potentially get into. But obviously, unlocking the beating the FFBE series boss battle will do a lot to make him even stronger. He has a really good TMR, he has a really good super TMR, there's nothing over here, but when it comes right down to it, King Rain is just as boring as I thought he would be. He's pure DPS, he's pure limit burst. He isn't anything new or exciting. As a matter of fact, his chaining being Stardust Raid doesn't make any sense other than Alum's just pushing that out the door right now on every unit, but having very little in the way of matching elements between other characters. Yes, I know you can use someone like Elephant to put the light element on him and someone else, but really, his usefulness is going to come down to what comes into the future for Stardust Ray Chainers. Not only that, but also who else will, if anybody on your friend unit has if anybody on your friend unit list has him as well, because he's just not a friendly unit to anybody currently in the game except for Red 13. And while people may have Red 13, not exactly the perfect one or a unit that you're going to find on your friend list here on the JP side. So yeah, just like last time, overpowered character, very high. Again, I can't say bad things really about him because his limit burst is just so insane. I'm not even sure if the 30 hit limit burst chains with Hayu, but I bet it does. Because, you know, subtlety. But yeah, when it comes right down to it, Rain is a character that just seems to be a chaining partner with himself, with a really convoluted rotation, and basically all focused in on limit burst. While I love it with Garland, I'm not so crazy about it here, so I'll be passing on this banner, I think, unless I want to throw some 4-star tickets to just try and get Diesel, because Diesel's pretty cool. Figures, they get me on the 4-star, but not on the 5-star. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know if you guys are going to pull or if you're sick of this Summon Fest crap. Remember, the more we support it, the more it's going to happen. So, yeah, that's all for now. I'll see you guys next time for another video when we take a look at another character. And I know which one we're going to take a look at. It's a character that you can only get different ways. Anyway, that's all for now. See you next time.